If you're voting in New York, it's important to check both sides of your ballot because on the back side of that ballot is a proposition that would expand protections within the state constitution. NBC5's Benny Nazai joins us now live from our Plattsburgh studio to explain this. Benny.
That's right, Brian. New Yorkers will not only be voting for local, state, and federal leaders this election cycle. On the back of their ballots, a proposed constitutional amendment known as the Equal Rights Amendment will also be decided this year.
This particular ballot measure had to be approved by the state legislature twice before it could be put on the ballot.
Changes could come to New York State's constitution in the 2024 election cycle. Under the state's constitution, there's current protection against unequal treatment based on race, color, creed, and religion. But Proposition 1 would expand on the wording of the Equal Protection Clause to include unequal treatment based on ethnicity, national origin, age, disability, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy and pregnancy outcomes, as well as reproductive health care and autonomy.
This is not a change in terms of adding something to the Constitution that's not already there. It's simply broadening the scope of rights that already exist in New York State to include other categories of people who are marginalized or feel like they may have not received equal protection of the laws in the past.
Republican Assemblyman Matt Simpson says the wording of the proposition is too broad and could have implications beyond women's reproductive rights.
This is so loosely written and broadly written that, there could be some very concerning unintended situations arising from the passage of this and inclusion into our Constitution.
While Democratic Assemblyman Billy Jones says the language is already reflected in state laws and it's up to voters to decide whether to codify them to the state's constitution.
All of these things are already in New York state law. What it will do is enshrine it into the Constitution, and I think that's an important point to make.
And local Board of Election officials are reminding voters to know everything that's on this year's ballot.
It's very important to educate yourself on all candidates and propositions on the ballot before you come to vote.
And as mentioned earlier, early voting in New York State starts this Saturday, October 26th, which is also the deadline to register to vote or request an absentee ballot ahead of the November 5th election. We're live in the Plattsburgh studio this evening. Benny Nazai, NBC5 News.